I'm trying to stall the game until I can combo off. The deck's main game plan is to survive the early and mid game, then assemble a combo to close out the game. My first commander was Thalian the Get Rug monster, but my playgroup really hated playing against it, so I switched up to this list. I'm open to any suggestions. Feel free to add whatever you think would improve the deck. The deck doesn't feel weak. It feels more like an unguided missile that has a lot of power, but it's inconsistent. I'd love to make it more consistent and, if possible, even more powerful. Okay, absolutely. Bracket 4 lands is where I live. My first question is... Let's duplicate this list. Okay. So, I don't like Craterhoof. If we're lands combo, Craterhoof, unless we have natural order, which we don't, is like so slow. It's glacial even. I don't like World Shaper. Lumber makes sense. Do we have a Lotus Field? Yes. Do we have Amulet of Vigor? No, but we might have a creature that does it. We have, because we have Springheart and Nantuko, we have Lotus Field, but we don't have anything that makes things enter untapped, which is actually a huge issue. Because we have Ice Tail as well, and Ice Tail is a combo card with those two. So maybe no Blossoming Tortoise, even though it's such a fine card. It is very good. This is so slow. It's so cool, though, with the Necrobloom. I just think it's so slow. Braids is a bit slow. And also just, like, hard to make actually do anything. Loam Crafter Fawn. Tato Farmer. Okay. Tato Farmer's also pretty good. So we have Spelunking. I want an Amulet in this deck. Amulet of Vigor. Green Sun's Zenith. And then we go with Horizon Explorer. Lands you control enter untapped. And then we have Urza Saga, ideally. No, we don't. Urza Saga. Do we have Dark Depths? Yeah, Glacial Chasm. Dark Depths. No, but we have Dryad Arbor. I don't like Dryad Arbor. Not in Commander. Basically, it's almost always right, in my opinion, for Green Sun Zenith in lower brackets, of which you are. You're in bracket 4, I would say. It's almost always correct to turn Green Sun Zenith into a big value play rather than a Dryad Arbor. And so here I want, like, Thespian's Stage, Nylea's Intervention, because Nylea's Intervention can actually tutor for... Nylea's Intervention can tutor for all the lands you need in one card, which is pretty dope. How does Amulet work with Spelunking? It doesn't, but it's good to have multiple of the same effect. It's redundancy. If anything, Spelunking is now your weakest effect, because Amulet can get tutored off of Urza's Saga, so can Zurin Orb, both of which are insane. And then also your Green Sun Zenith and your... you actually don't have another Green Sun Zenith. I actually don't like Farewell in your combo deck, by the way. Can get Horizon Explorer. And then we have a combo with Aftermath Analyst and... wow, we had Thespian Stage, but Dark Depths? That's crazy. Do we have Yavimaya Cradle of Growth? Wow, okay, weird. Because you were running Archdruid's Charm, which typically... When I see Archdruid Charm, I'm like, damn, we're on Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, too. Of which we're not. Which is... Okay, no, it's Fangorn Forest, I see. There we go, Yavi. Vesuva. So, how do you think Vesuva works with Dark Depths? Because this is a very serious learning and reading issue. Vesuva does not work with Dark Depths, if that's what you're suggesting. It does work with Field of the Dead, though, which is badass. So, do we have... I imagine we have to have Shifting Woodland. Yes. So we have Shifting Woodland, Amulet Effect, Aftermath Analyst, which is a combo to make infinite mana. We have Cultivator Colossus, which is awesome. Do we have Abundance? We don't have Abundance. So Abundance works with Cultivator Colossus to put every land in your deck into play. So I maybe don't like Felidar Retreat. It's a little too fair. Walk-in Closet when we have ways to tutor up green creatures that do the same thing. And that frees up more space for funny combo cards that explode everyone. Do we have Yavimaya or Urborg? We have Yavimaya, yes. I'm pretty sure we have Urborg. It's the Dead Marches, right? Yep. This is why I always change it to like default printings, if it's easy to do, by the way, because I literally did not know Yavimaya or Urborg were in this deck until I like looked at the like weird cards. Bajuka Bog, Ancient Tomb. I'm very, very happy that you didn't put Cabal Coffers in your deck. Famished Worldsire. Famished Worldsire is okay. I think I'm more leaning towards Kodama of the West tree. Nope, Kodama of the whatever tree. Of the East tree. Another permanent enters. If it wasn't put into the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser mana value from your hand on the battlefield. And then you do bounce land loops with that. Because you do have all the bounce lands. Which is another combo. Maybe just some more one-drop ramp. I think like... I've been saved so many times by having an extra land drop off of Arboreal Grazer. That I think it's kind of non-negotiable. Cabal Coffers is in there. Oh my god, you greedy pig. Get your head out of the trough. You worm. You don't need that. We're fucking lands combo. We have squandered resources. Man is a joke. Commander is a disease. Okay. Let's get Disciple in this deck. Disciple of Freyalise. Love this card for a land stack, especially one with Dark Depths, that's being staged, which you have. Now, Expedition Map is something you can get off of Urza's Saga. And then we can do Greater Good for the similar reason that it sacks Merit Lage and draws a billion. And then we can kind of top this all off with like... Just Sylvan Scrying. Okay, let's play test. Unkeepable. Slow, but keepable. Dog. Okay. We're fine. Yeah, we're fine. This can work. Draw. Vesuva. Next turn. Or actually, you go Overgrown Tomb into Sylvan Safekeeper. And then turn 2, you go Forest. Actually, you go Selesnya Sanctuary, bounce. This turn, dink, dink, dink. Is it important to play Bilbo's Gambit in these combo decks? Bilbo's Gambit is very good. Anyway, Merit Lage. I just think I'd prefer Veil of Summer most times. These like higher floor decks. 3 visits. Get Underground Mortuary. Surveil 1. Expedition Map. Let's keep that. Orzhov, Basilica, Bounce Forest, second land, play Forest. Combat, swing, Mirrorlage. Next turn. 1, 2. Or, sorry. 1, 2. Dink, dink. Swing, Mirrorlage again. Someone's dead. Sylvan Safekeeper protects her as well. I maybe want to Might form Harmonizer. Whenever a land enters, double the power of every creature you control. So you go Scoot Swarm out? Ooh, it's a little tough because it does work very well with Kodama Bounce Land. Because you go land drop, Kodama triggers, second landfall, or you get like a Scoot Swarm trigger as well, and then you can go infinite with bounce lands there. It's target, not every. Yeah, that's fine. If you've ever targeted Mirrorlage with this, it's fine. So you don't need to remove counters. You can sack Dark Depths. No. Thespian Stage, what happens is Thespian Stage becomes a copy of Dark Depths. When that happens, it is a Dark Depths with no ice counters on it. You have to Legend Rule the original Dark Depths. After that, you now have a Dark Depths with no ice counters on it. It doesn't work with Vesuva, because Vesuva enters as a copy of it, which means it will enter with the ice counters. We've already entered with the Thespian Stage, and then we've made a copy of it. Secondarily, Shifting Woodland works with Dark Depths. You're able to copy a Dark Depths in your graveyard if you have Delirium, and now this is a copy of Dark Depths without any ice counters, and then it explodes into Mirrorlage. Maybe no Plum. Gotcha, good to know. Okay, great. Playtest. A lot of people think it works where you can have like Lush Portico Surveil 1. Very good. Next turn, Talon Gates. Or I guess you just do Selesnya Sanctuary, bounce this back to hand, Talon Gates discard. Next turn. Ooh, boop, boop, boop. Horizon Explorer, make a lander. Next turn, Thespian Stage. Wait, Tyler's Provisioner first. Nissa first. And then you go Lotus Field, sack 2. Make a green mana, doesn't matter. Next turn. Oh wait, no, because this is a bounce land. You don't want to sack it. Ugh. Okay, this is a little clunky with the bounce lands. Maybe don't do Kodama stuff. Like, bounce land stuff is good. I just think I like the Lotus Field stuff a bit more because that goes infinite with Ice Till. You need Ice Till, an Amulet, a Talon Gates, and Springheart and Tuco enchanting Springheart, or not Springheart and Tuco, the Ice Till. And then that works. Golgari Route Farm, where are you? Okay, Golgari Route Farm just wasn't in the deck. Okay, great. I mean, I can double check. It is in the deck. Okay, great. So, let's go with the desert, Lazotep Quarry. Love Lazotep Quarry. Would you recommend cut bounce lands against OG duels? Yes, like I said. What are you asking? Huh? I cut the bounce lands because I don't want to sack them to a like line where we have Lotus Field. I do like Bridgeworks Battle. No, but then because then you can't do loops. So I cut Kodama. I cut the bounce lands. I'm favoring the consistency of the Ice Till Explorer Lotus Field loop than the bounce land loop that you can do with Kodama. And in fact, maybe we should get rid of Scoot Swarm now too. which is honestly fine because Goose Form's kind of if you're not comboing with it. So that frees up 3 slots to do like Formidable Speaker, right? Formidable Speaker turns the Green Sun Zeniths into a Springheart Nantuko in your hand, which is actually very valuable. Maybe no trouble in Paris. It's just kind of here. I do like Allosaurus Shepherd. This is probably the best go wide payoff you could run, and also green spells can't be countered, so now your lands can't be countered, and also your green spells can't be countered. I just feel having bounce lands plus an amulet makes you ritual out mana for plays more valuable than a duel. Yes, but I didn't cut dual lands. I didn't. I cut the bounce lands because they're counteracting the... Like, you could do 1 bounce land, but it's just like, it's so fine. Why is it every time I open a stream for deck reviews, it's always Necrobloom? Probably because you haven't watched me for like 8 months. I don't remember the last time I reviewed a lands deck like this was. Okay. It's not just you, I see. I'm going to peep Cura really quick. Rishkars is very good. Grothama is also really good. Rishkar's Expertise and Grothama. All devouring. So Grothama is a Green Sun Zenable if... Oh, actually, wait. We have... Instead of Greater Good, we can run Tom... What is the name of that card? Type Troll Set Hob. Tom Burt William. Because that's Green Sun Zenable. Ooh, this is a really interesting game, but I think I got a mulligan. This is also a very interesting hand, but I got a mulligan. Okay, this is keepable. Bottom Ob. Draw. Marsh Flats. Fetch. Lush Portico. Surveil 1. Top. Next turn. Yavimaya. I guess you do Bajuka Bog this turn. And then this turn you go Dink, 1, 2, 3, no Knight of the Reliquary. And then this turn you go Nissa, Thespian Stage, Float a Mana, tap, sack, get, sacrifice a forest or plains. It is a forest because of Yavimaya. You get Dark Depths. That's the second landfall trigger. Activate this. And then you get Merit Lage on this turn. And then you also get to spin into a elf or elemental. There's Merit Lage. Elemental, Lumra. Okay, great. So now we have Merit Lage. Next turn. Great news. You also have Shifting Woodland, which can turn back into the Dark Depths in your graveyard. And we have Springheart. So I think here you go. So we float a mana. We have 4 mana available. You go tap for green. Or you go tap for green, sack, Ancient Tomb, go up another mana, and then we spin. So we have 2 green mana floating right now. And you spin into an elf or an elemental. That's a demon. Tree folk. Elf. Think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, Lumra, mill 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, return land, 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 land from graveyard to battlefield. That's going to float mana off of Nissa. So that's 5, 6 Nissa triggers, which will go green, 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 green. These are in a graveyard. And you go 1, 2. I guess you could just cast your commander, actually. So let's just cast the commander instead. Hit someone with Merit Lage. And then next turn you go 1, 2. Formidable Speaker. Get Might Form Harmonizer. 1, 2, 3 to cast. Might Warp it out. Land for turn, Talon Gates. Merit Lage now has 40 power. You swing Merit Lage. And then you can sack to do more Nissa stuff. Like, ta-da! Do we have Nature's Rhythm? No. I think Nature's Rhythm's a bit too expensive to flash back in a non-mono green deck. We also just have Yavimaya already, though. So that is a point towards it. I do just think Green Sun Zenith is the first one I would like in a deck like this, because a lot of these cards are just green that we care about. And in fact, most, if not all of them are. I'd maybe go down like Ob Nixilis if we wanted to include something like a Nature's Rhythm. It does have Harmonize on flashback. Yes, I'm saying the Harmonize is very hard to achieve without Yavimaya. But we always have access to Yavimaya in a way, I think. So maybe it's just worth it. Okay, so is Field of the Dead and Glacial Chasm in? Yes. Finale of Devastation. Finale's definitely very good. I think we have enough tutors as is. I think we can basically consistently reach for whatever we want, depending on what our hand looks like. Like, Dark Depths, Thespian Stage is always going to be the GOAT in terms of ease of access. But we can easily go like a Glacial Chasm, Field of the Dead kind of route if our things get exiled or stuff like that. Tap Merit Lage, Tutor Lumra or something. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Do I really want to go tapping my 20 power object to do that? I'd probably get Tom, Bert, and William first if I was doing that, which is just greater good. Right, draw 20. You're probably just going to win the game. Playtest, discard. Draw. Besage You, Arboreal Grazer, Thespian Stage. Next turn. Exploration. Marsh Flats. Fetch for Temple Garden. 1, 2. Aftermath Analyst, mill 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you go second land for turn, Dark Depths. Next turn. Pass. Make Merit Lage. Squandered. Well, we can't cast that, so that makes this decision very easy. We're going to go Sylvan Safekeeper, start hitting you with Merit Lage. Light from the Loam is awesome. Not Wasteland. Marsh Flats. There we go. So 1, 2, 3. Marsh Flats. Thespian Stage. Crack Marsh Flats for Lush Portico. Surveil 1. Graveyard Nissa. And then anyway, oh, actually we need a Nissa. So, all right. Anyway, someone's dead this turn. We've had Merit Lage for 2 turns, or maybe only 1 turn. In which case they're dead here. 1, 2, 3. Nissa. And maybe we tap Not Like a Moron. And then Dark Depths, black, squandered resources. Sack all of our lands. Except for this one. And this one. 1 mana of any type. So you can't do Thespian Stage or Dark Depths. But you can do these 3. Oh, no, that's so rough. If we had 1 more mana producing land here, what we could do is squandered resource, sack all the lands. Then you would bring them all back with Aftermath Analyst. And then that would make a lot of mana that you could then go Oracle of Moldiah with. And you can't play this card, sadly, but you could Vampiric Tutor for the stupid Shifting Woodland. And then you'd play that as land for turn. These would all be tapped, by the way. And then you'd have infinite mana here. And you'd also spin into an elf. Because you would sack all your lands to Sylvan Safekeeper. And then you could Shifting Woodland back, Aftermath Analyst. And then you could sack all your lands again. And then Nissa every time is making that much mana, which I think is perfectly 8 in this scenario. Yes, so you would be able to loop this indefinitely to just, like, bring back all your lands repeatedly. Oh, you have Squandered Resources, duh. So actually, instead of sacking to Sylvan Safekeeper, you sack to Squandered Resources. You go up 8 mana every time. Necrobloom, you'll get infinite zombie tokens, which is awesome. So you'd have infinite zombie tokens here if we could do that, which I actually think we could have because we had Vampiric Tutor. Is crop rotation in the deck? Hexra in YouTube chat. Is crop rotation in the deck? Oh my god. No, it's not in. We didn't put crop rotation in the lands combo deck. In the bracket for first instant in the list, dog. It's the first card in the list. It's the first card you put in this deck. Anyway, I don't know how to convince you more. We've been killing players consistently on turn 5, back to back to back to back. Maybe add a Gaia's Cradle if you really want to over Growing Rights of Illimak. I don't know if that's your speed or not. That's like the only final piece of advice I have. This deck is going to fucking kill people. You can maybe add a Lotus Petal for some 6 combo shenanigans where you discard a bunch of lands to Lotus Petal repeatedly, and then you bring them all back with like a Resplendent Reclamation effect, and then you sacrifice all of them, and then you Lotus Petal some more after, like, you know, doing some like stupid Life from the Loam stuff. There's just this deck. Every time you play it, you're going to find a new combo by accident. And, yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I just joined and wanted to make sure it's in the deck. No, it's fine. It's just kind of like asking if Island's in a mono blue deck. You know what I mean? Hey, Elk, I see you're building an Angels deck. Do you have Avacyn in there? Yes.